Government wants Guyanese to take over the oil industry in a decade. Bus driver arrested for putting out passenger in the rain. U.S. judge sentences Guyana Uncut to 9 years in jail. And bail for repeat offenders. The nonsense of it all. I am Rico Bulford and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The draft local content bill's first schedule would mandate a near takeover of oil operations in just 10 years. The bill seeks to mandate a gradual increase in the use of local goods and services based on the government's assessment of the ability of locals to provide such goods and services. It outlines the percentage of local involvement necessary in the beginning, after 3 years, after 5 years, after 7 years, and after 10 years. As for employment, quotas are set for management, supervisory, technical core, and professional support staff, along with semi-skilled and unskilled workers. The legislation will be introduced in Parliament before year's end. The President has announced the formation of a demerit system for contractors who work on state projects but take too long. He explained that there will be an assessment of every contractor and project executed at the end of each year. The net value of outstanding work will be transferred to the new year and will become the net value of work in progress that would disallow them from having new contracts or a certain level of new contract. There will also be a performance-based award system in addition to the price and technical qualification system that is currently in place. He also made it clear that there is no problem with contractors having multiple contracts, but the contracts must be done simultaneously. Huawei has just donated 1,000 internet modems to the government. 500 are for indoor use and 500 for outdoor. They can deliver 4G and 5G signals outdoors at over 300 meters and just below 100 meters indoors to more than 100 users at a time. 53-year-old minibus driver Lawrence Williams was arrested on Monday for kicking a passenger out of his bus because she refused to be his conductor, a role that he's required to pay a person to fill. The incident reportedly took place last week Wednesday and was caught on tape. Williams is expected to face trial this week. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale is this 2011 Subaru Forester XT. It comes with all-wheel drive, driving modes, Bluetooth, mug rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, reverse camera, rear spoiler, and much more. Buy cash for $4.7 million, or pay down as low as $940,000 down, with around $106,500 monthly for 4 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Road Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them the Rico sent you for this sweet deal. After being sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for omitting $145 million from the GRDP's account, former GRDP accountant Peter Ramtran will go on to face trial for similar offenses on January 26th of next year. Ramtran was slapped with 39 fraud-related charges upon his extradition to Guyana from Canada in 2019. He was accused of systematically falsifying the agency's accounts for over a period of 4 years, thus omitting to enter some $414 million in the ledger. So that's $414 million altogether that was falsified. On Sunday night, 28-year-old truck driver Ramtran was electrocuted when a crane on his canter touched a live power line on the Zeelucht public road. Guyana was at the time removing his friend's vehicle from a trench that runs parallel to the road. Guyana was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Convicted cocaine trafficker and longtime fugitive from the law, Guyanese Uncut has been sentenced to 9 years in prison for jumping his original bail and cocaine trafficking. In March of last year, Khan had surrendered to authorities in the U.S. after fleeing America in 2008 to skip out on the drug trafficking charges he was facing. He went back last year because he was expecting a lighter sentence after cooperating with investigators. But that didn't stop them from slapping him with a 6-year sentence for skipping bail in the first place, and an additional 3 years for the original drug trafficking charge. During his time in Guyana as a fugitive, Khan got into several businesses and established a security company that landed government contracts, a senior position on the Securities Companies Association and the Private Sector Commission, and he was also a local observer for last year's elections, despite being a known fugitive and former cocaine trafficker. His attorneys have indicated that they plan to appeal the sentence.
Hey, I'm interrupting this program to let you know that not all truck parts are created equal. Some does work hard without any problems for a long time, while others does make your truck broke down quick and got you running your pockets again. Get genuine high-quality parts from Powered Automotive truck spares and engine parts and extend the life of your repair. They're the authorized dealer in Guyana for Hammer USA products like brake valves, clutch discs, universal bearings, and others. Visit them at 1161 EE Eccles or call them on 697-0171. Powered Automotive, the #1 truck and engine parts store in Guyana. If you didn't know, well, now you know.
It's now time for today's Run Report. Today, the nation recorded 89 new cases. There are now 979 persons dead, 9 in the ICU, 1,672 in home isolation. And the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 37,445. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. As for the vaccines, to date, 396,840, or 77.4% of adults have received their first dose, and 271,206, or 52.9% are fully vaccinated. As for the adolescents, 28,769, or 39.4% have received their first dose, and 19,946, or 27.3% are fully vaccinated. The arrival of an oxygen-generating plant to Guyana has been further delayed by logistical difficulties. The $150,000 plant was sourced and donated by 2 local Hindu NGOs. The plant, when it arrives, will be installed at the View Hotel. The equipment is ready to be shipped, but it is still sitting there on a dock in India. Nevertheless, Dr. Anthony said that there is an adequate supply of oxygen at the facility at the current moment. And now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? The invisible revolving door they've installed at the magistrate's court. And by that I mean that violent repeat offenders are given bail with no regard as to the lives they go on to destroy in the process. Now, I don't need to do a lot of explaining here because you already know how I feel about the justice system. And this is merely just one cog in the corrupted machine. So, among the many things the government must do to reform the justice system, restricting bail for repeat offenders needs to be among them, and especially no bail for armed robbery. It doesn't even make sense when you consider the fact that often the bail is set at a value smaller than what was stolen, meaning that bail with no jail is not a punishment, it's just a bandit business expense. Additionally, I wouldn't even suggest jail for most of them. For many, I'd suggest alternative sentencing and restorative justice. Jail is nothing but a vacation for some of these guys. Restorative justice makes them pay emotionally for their crimes by forcing offenders to be confronted by their victims, told of the harm their crimes have caused, and legally requires them to make it up to the victim. Literally, the state makes sure that you do it. And if they get caught robbing another person, or if they don't fulfill what they're supposed to do, boom, automatic 5 years in prison, no questions asked. Now I know it's not a perfect solution by far, but it's definitely worth trying something new, because doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different result is pretty stupid. You can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your existing hustle. Become a top offender quick and easy through Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Moving on to Uncut News poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, should they raise the private sector minimum wage? Ron Glasgow said, minimum wages should be increased, but as long as things in our economy remain the same, minimum wage increases will just be another cost for business owners to pass on to us, and then we'll be in a situation where your increase in wage is just a number, and you still don't feel the benefit of having more money. As long as you're working for someone private or public, you won't reap the benefits of wage increases unless you can qualify for a higher position with a higher pay scale. King Tut says, the minimum wage should be the same across all sectors. The price on goods and services are based on the US dollar, and so should salaries. The good life can never be achieved on $200 per month. Oh, aren't you right about that one? So for tonight's question, the courts have recently sentenced 4 men to the death penalty, but there's currently a moratorium on it. Would you support officially repealing the death penalty or officially reinforcing it? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another episode. Until then, I'm Enrico Bolford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.